All right, here it is. This is us finishing up all of our ranking segments with our top 12 tight ends for this coming fantasy football season. Man, I am pumped. This is one of those positions that you can draft high and feel lucky about it, or feel happy about it, I should say, or draft late and hope you're lucky for it. Last season, I drafted George Kittle. I think it was the 10th or 11th round. And man, I was happy. I was real happy about that. So, Bryan, let's go ahead and get us started. I believe you're starting us off. Go ahead, hit it.
Yeah, number 1 is Travis Kelce.
And your name is? I'm Thor. You're Thor? Well, it hurts.
Why?
His nickname is Thor. Oh, so he's Thor.
I did not know his nickname was Thor, so that drop got me like a little confused. All right, so number 1 overall, Travis Thor Kelce. ESPN, he was the number 1 consensus tight end last year. ADP currently going at the 202. Chad, we both have him at number 1. This was an easy one. 2018 was an unbelievable year for him. He had career highs across the board. 1,300 yards receiving, 10 touchdowns, 150 targets, 103 receptions. It's unbelievable. 243 fantasy points. And he was a stud. So 26% target share last year is ridiculous. I see nothing changing.
Especially for tight end.
Oh, 100%. So I see nothing changing. He's a tight end 1 last year, 80% of the time. So consistency off the board. There's not much you have to worry. You take him. Unfortunately, you got to take him pretty early. But if you're going to take him, you're not making a mistake. The guy's a stud.
80% of the time, he worked every time.
Every time. That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. Coming in at number 2, we've got Zach Ertz, who, ladies and gentlemen, is going at an ADP cost of the 212. Was ESPN's number 2 ranked tight end. Listen, this is a guy who broke the record for receptions for a tight end last season with 116 receptions and 1,100 receiving yards, a little over 1,100 receiving yards. Yes, regression is bound, but I'll take the guy that's going to regress from record-breaking season any day. Zach Ertz has himself a role solidified with Carson Wentz and that Eagles offense, and they love him. Goddard was there last season. Even with Goddard there, Ertz gets used in the passing game. He's one of those tight ends. He's really hard to cover because his route running is just so crisp. And aside from Wentz loving him, I love him. He's a good dude. Just leave it at that. You're getting one of the most consistent tight ends in the league. Feel safe taking him at the back of the second round because he's worth every penny. So Zach Ertz, number 2. Put it on the board.
His number 2 or his good guy ranking, number 1 consensus overall. All right, moving on. Number 3 is George Kittle.
Not a lot, baby girl, just a little bit.
Yep.
Just
George,
a little bit of that drop.
I can't handle this stuff today. Oh man, this episode is derailed. So George Kittle's our number 3 consensus tight end. We both have him at number 3. I'll be honest. So I was not on the George Kittle train for a while.
You weren't.
I called BS. I felt like he had a couple games that just blew up last year, and it really affected his rankings. However, I've studied some film on him recently. I'm on the train. I'm on it. So George Kittle last year, ESPN number 3 ranked tight end. His ADP is currently the 304. 2018. Here's how unbelievable this guy was. 1,377 receiving yards, broke the yardage record for a tight end in his second year as a tight end.
That's it. That's all we gotta say.
Yep. Just move on. We'll actually end the show. 5 touchdowns. Show ended. 5 touchdowns on the season, 136 targets, 88 receptions for 214 fantasy points. It's unbelievable. And that's without Jimmy Garoppolo as his quarterback.
And
arguably bums as quarterback.
Well, shuffling between CJ Beathard and Nick Mullins.
Yeah, bumzards is what they were.
Bumzards.
So I look at Kittle. He's a guy that could What's the opposite of regress? Progress?
Impress.
Upgress. He could upgress.
Upwards.
He could go north instead of south. So he's a guy that I see could improve year over year. So George Kittle, number 3, and the 303 ADP for him is a pretty good price.
I've seen him going higher in a lot of drafts because people love him so much, and so they're reaching on him. And you know what? Go ahead and reach on him too if you're in the second round and you're really looking for that guy. George Kittle's going to be a beast this coming season. So you know who else is going to be a beast this coming season? OJ Howard, who we have at our number 4, and I actually have him ranked at 4. Brian, I think you have him at 5.
Nope, 4.
But here's the thing. OJ Howard, when healthy, is one of the best tight ends in the league. He played 10 games last season and had 565 yards receiving and 5 touchdowns. And that was between 2 quarterbacks and an offense that was kind of up and down all over the place. He's got a coach that loves to pass the ball, and he loves to air it out too in Bruce Arians. So Bruce Arians, people like to say that he doesn't like the tight end, he doesn't like using them, but he's never quite had a tight end like OJ Howard with his skill set. Howard's a good field stretcher, and he outruns most linebackers, if not all of them, that try to cover him. So right now he's going at 506. He was ESPN's 13th ranked tight end last season, missing every game after the 10th week. In the 5th round, OJ Howard, I would almost value him as high as George Kittle in the 3rd. But you're getting him in the 5th. Take it all day.
Yeah, actually, I do have him at the 5. So I was wrong about that. Yeah, I think he's a stud. So I'm all about him this year. I mean, there's only one guy that I stat ahead of him right now, and I'm really even kind of scratching my head at it a bit, to be quite honest. So I'll move on to him. Number 5 tight end is Eric Ebron. Eric Ebron is the consensus 5. I have him at 4. Chad, you have him at 5.
Yep.
Last year, ESPN ranked number 4 tight end. His ADP is currently at the 610. This guy put up 750 yards, 13 tutties, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It's sick. 13. Let's say it again one more time. 13. That's ridiculous. So
Yeah, it's insane.
110 targets, 66 receptions. That's the only thing about him is
He's always
his
had
catch
stone
rate.
hands.
Yeah, his catch rate is really low. So if he could improve that, I think he could elevate himself to the next tier of, really the Kittles and Ertzes of the world.
Yeah.
He's got the quarterback to do it. And so
He does.
189 points on the season. I mean, he only had 25 less points than Kittle. So, but those touchdowns get you there.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think a guy that you can get in the back of the 6th round, I think he's a steal. He's got some upside potential. I do think the touchdowns regress a bit, Chad. So That's what worries me. But if he can get the yardage up and improve on those reception numbers a bit, I think he could still kind of fall right around the 5.